Welcome to Pete's podcast with United legend and I'd like to say nowadays my friend Denis Irwin. Hello Denis.
Good afternoon everybody.
Right Denis, so I would want to talk briefly really about your career and how you, good example, like a few players at the start doesn't really happen for them, and when you got released at Leeds, was it?
Yeah, unfortunately, long time ago, but for some reason in those days, the managers Leeds changed the managers quite often, and Billy Bremner came in, and I wasn't in his plans, and it was much easier to release players in those days.
Was it disappointing? Was
it? Huge disappointment, because I come across from Ireland. Leeds is obviously my first club. Been there 4 years. I broke into the first team under Eddie Gray, played 90 matches, so it was a huge disappointment at the time. I was lucky in the fact that Oldham, who were in the same division, came in for me that night. Otherwise, at that time, there was a lot of Irish players came over and used to head off back home. So I was fortunate in that respect that not just Oldham, but a couple of other clubs came in as well. So it didn't give me the opportunity to think about going back home. And forever grateful for Oldham, first of all, for giving me that opportunity and the 4 great years I had there.
Not everybody has the desire or the willpower to sort of like take it on the chin like you clearly did, as disappointed as you admitted. So what was it that made you buckle down? Did you just have belief in yourself at that time that you still thought you could play at a better level?
Yeah, I knew I could play football. When I went to Oldham, I've got to say Joe Royal and Willie Donachie were fantastic for me. Willie was a full-back, just retiring from Oldham, played for Scotland numerous times, so he helped me out an awful lot. And the way Oldham played as well under Joe, we were a very attacking team, so that suited me as well. And we were a football inside, and even though it was 4 years on the artificial surface, I think it suited my style, suited my game. And as I said, we were a very attacking team, and that played right into my hands, and it just gave me huge confidence, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing for Oldham. Oldham at the time was a stepping stone for players as well, to go there and do their stuff and move on. And Mike Milligan, Paul Warhurst, Al Barrett, Andy Gorham, Rick Holden.
Which Andy Gorham? There's 2 of them, wasn't it?
No, one Andy Gorham. There's only one Andy Gorham, another one Andy Gorton. Andy Gorham moved on to Hibs, and I had 4 great years there, but I let my contract run out because I wanted to test myself at a higher level.
What you said about, obviously Joe Royal was a former acclaimed centre forward, but Willie was a fullback, so was Willie like a big influence at that stage, and because of his experience and why we played as a fullback? Or?
Yeah, well, Willie was in charge of the coaching, and he was probably ahead of everybody else in the fact that he was very into his eating properly and living your life outside of football properly. And the training was tough, which suited me. And I'd say the style we played, because I think Joe Royal was a centre forward, we more or less encouraged the wingers to cross balls, the full backs to get forward, overlap and cross balls. It's probably like how Joe can remember playing football. And funny enough, Sir Alex was a centre forward as well, and I think played exactly the same style, so I didn't have to change too much when I came to United. So forever grateful for both Willie and Joe for, like, I wouldn't say picking me up and dusting me down, but certainly giving me another opportunity to prove myself.
And it was probably the best period of Oldham as a club, wasn't it? When I'm not on that, obviously the cup runs, which probably got you to more prominence with people like Sir Alex and that. Yeah. But knocked Arsenal out. Was it Arsenal? Was it about 3-0 against Arsenal?
3-1 against Arsenal. Yeah. Played West Ham in the League Cup semi-final. Beat them 6-0 at home.
Right, yeah.
Got beat 3-0 down at the Bowling Ground at Upton Park. We went through 6-3. On average, unfortunately lost the final to Notts Forest.
They had a bit of a good record in that cup at the time.
They did, yeah. Notts Forest had a great record. Played United in the same year, got to the FA Cup semi-final. Unfortunately at the time United knocked us out, but and we just fell short in the league. But we were a very good young side that liked to play good football and have a go. And as I said, I had 4 great years at Oldham, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the best success they had at a time, so pleased to be part of that. but I moved on in 1990.
And was it a no-brainer really? Was it? And was Joe and Willie, did they accept that they couldn't keep you and something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. It was an absolute no-brainer. I knew from the start of the season that I wanted to move on. There was rumours in all the papers about City and Sheffield Wednesday and Manchester United, but I mean, when the only one that made a move in the end, I mean, actually they agreed a fee with Oldham. My contract didn't actually run out. They didn't want to go to a tribunal or wait for somebody else to come in. So in June, I signed for United. Well, when you speak to Sir Alex, and things were already on the move there. They just won the FA Cup. You know, Pally was there, Brucey was there, Chalky was there, Paul Ince was there, Danny Wallace. You know, the club were making a huge effort to compete again.
Did he give it the old walk around the pitch and
arm
round
you? Absolutely.
Tell you what his plans were and all that, and how he saw
absolutely.
you fit in.
Yeah, and obviously when Manchester United come calling, you know how big a club it is, especially growing up in Ireland as well. And I didn't need a second opportunity.
And then from then on, it just went. I mean, the side was just developing, wasn't it? And then obviously the disappointment in '92. But unlike other clubs who ran close, you know, around that time, whether it be Villa or Newcastle, United found that grit, didn't they, and determination to go on better.
Yeah, I think when I signed, we were still a little bit short. The following year, Big Pete Schmeichel came in, Paul Parker came in, so the reason why I swapped from the right to the left. And season after that, obviously, halfway through in '92, Eric came in, and you could see us nearly getting there. I mean, obviously 91-92 was a huge disappointment, losing out to Leeds, but we were winning cups and we were nearly there, and we felt we were nearly there. And 92-93 was huge for the club. It gave the club huge belief that they could win the Premier League, and I think the club grew in stature from there on. And of course, the manager didn't stop there, signed Keeney straight away that year, so we kept improving as the years went by. But certainly I spent 12 years at United, probably the best 12 years at the club in terms of winning trophies, the way football was played. Prior to that, I said I had 4 great years at Oldham, and I finished off with 2 great years at Wolves by Hood Idols, and I had 2 great years there. So I got to say I had 22 years of football altogether, but the last 18 were obviously a real great time for me. But the 12 years at United, I mean, you could go through 91, the first year I was there winning Winners' Cup against Barcelona, 93, the first year we won the Premier League, a few doubles on the way, topped off by 99, so it was an unbelievable 12 years for me, I got to say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, going back to just winning that first Premier League, which I agree was the ultimate one, and lots of times when we've gone through the league, people say this will be the best one. Yeah, you know, to me, 93 will always be the best one because of disappointment in 92, but I honestly just thought, I was relieved to win one league. I mean, did you have honest? I remember being out that night when Oldham beat Villa when Nick Henry scored. I remember being out in the Peveril and the Peak in town, you probably know it. And this, as it happened, was what City fan we knew was going to a concert, and he came out like that, down, and he just said, "The thing is, I just think it'll open the floodgates now." And I never even thought that, you know, I thought that big. Maybe it's because I was just very paranoid, but as a belief in players, was it sort of like, watch us go now, you know, once we've done that one? It was the monkey off the shoulder, wasn't it, sort of?
Yeah, it took a lot of pressure off us. There's no guarantee in football. I think we had a fair idea that we'd be thereabouts with the squad we had and with the manager looking to add every year. But you still have to compete. And like in all them 12 years, looking back in it, it's mad to think that the first year we won the Premier League, it was Aston Villa and Sheffield Wednesday, and then Blackburn come on the scene for 2, 3, 4 years, and then obviously Wenger went to Arsenal, and they were more or less our rivals for the best. Well, when I was there, when I was there.
It was a good. Looking back, it was a good rivalry.
It was a good rivalry.
I didn't like Wenger at the time as a fan, but
it was a good rivalry. They were a good football side. They had a bit of grit to them. Chelsea were always improving. Newcastle jumped on the scene for a year or two, but Arsenal were our regular rivals and all that. So we were always pitted against somebody. But yeah, we got better and better. You can't win them all. I think you have to accept that. You know, we went the year, I wouldn't say we lost it, but the year Blackburn picked us to it was hard to take.
That to me was worse than when City won it in 2012, that day at Upton Park.
Yeah, you know what I mean, but you got to say, like, I suppose 2 years later, or the following year, when we pipped, probably 2 years later, when we pipped Newcastle, you know, it was one of them that, you know, we kind of sneaked in through the back door. So it's a very fine line between winning and losing, and I think you have to accept that you can't win everything. It's such a hard league to win. I think teams have found that. No, teams retained it for quite a while now.
Well, I think Wenger's Arsenal never retained it. No. Chelsea did. City haven't retained it.
It shows you how hard it is now. It's a very competitive league now. But there's no guarantee in football. But I think looking back on it, and the manager always wanted you to move on, didn't want you to sit on your laurels and just remember what you'd achieved. He was always driving the bus, and you had to be on that bus. We always knew that we could compete, and that was the main thing.
I think Juventus won the European Cup with Vialli and that, and you know, was it about 90, maybe about 95, and literally they moved on to 2 strikers in that summer. And at the time I thought I wouldn't like that, but I mean, in fact, that's why I would never be a manager, because I'd still have Jimmy Green off front of Eric even nowadays. You know what I mean? You've got to, you know, get away from, you know, you got to treat people right, haven't you? But you've got to let the team evolve.
Well, the manager's got to be fairly ruthless at some point, because you know, players get past their sell-by date. They might lose a bit of form, might pick up an injury, not be the same player after that. It can't be easy for a manager. They've always got to be looking forward, looking ahead. And he knew the young lads were coming through, but you're never quite sure how they're going to perform, especially when you get 4, 5 or 6 through at the same time. So I had the manager bought brilliantly. You know, I spoke about Keeney. I mean, Ollie was an unbelievable signing. Ronnie Johnson, you know, didn't pay an awful lot for them.
Quite unsung Ronnie, wasn't he, in that sort of like late 90s? Yeah.
I mean, I thought Karol Poborski was a real decent player.
Yeah.
And of course, in '98, you know, the addition of Jaap, Yorkie, and Jesper.
Yeah.
You know, 3 really good. Again, Jesper was very underrated, and probably didn't play as much as he would have done at any other club because of the form of Giggsy. I thought they were 3 great signings, so we kept improving, kept getting better, and it was a thoroughly unbelievable period for me to enjoy as a footballer.
I've got to tell you a funny one. Maisie said one of the funniest things Phil Neville ever said. When we signed Jesper, brought him into the changing room, and he said Jesper turned around and put him backwards. Went, Maisie, do you recognise him now? I said, Phil said that. That's brilliant. But yeah, I mean, we obviously moving on when you. We said about some players, you know, fans always sort of criticise. Some people thought certain old favourites get kept on too long, and you know, when you don't want your memories to be tarnished of people. And obviously, I still think Eric could have gone on for another 2 years personally, but in his own mind, he thought he'd peaked. But did you like when it came? I wanted to mention about Eric as well, but I wanted to talk about. Did you feel that, you know, did Fergie say like, you know, Wolves will come in for you or whatever, and it's maybe a good time to move?
Not at all. I went from, obviously I'd been there 12 years. I was 36 when I left, so I was no spring chicken. And the last two years or so, the managers kind of started off by resting me for smaller games. If there was a big game in the midweek, you know, a European game or a big game at the weekend, so I started missing 1 or 2 games, and then kind of flipped that I was, you know, they'd signed Mikel Silvestre. You know, Wes was kind of knocking on the door, and Phil Neville was there. He'd been waiting a long time, so there was competition as you'd expect. Shazy was kind of half breaking through there as well. So there was competition for places as you'd always expect. So, particularly my last season, I didn't play that much, which I didn't particularly like after playing regularly for so long. So that was a tough year for me. So I knew it was my last year there, as simple as that. The manager didn't say Wolves will come in for you, because the manager says, oh, you know, you've done really well for the club. It must be hard for him as well, because he must have done it so many times. It's time for you to move on, and even though it's hard to take at the time, you know, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
it wasn't a problem. So I had to decide then at 36 whether I wanted to call it a day or just have another year. And I just waited.
You go out with your head held high for 12 years.
I just felt there was another year in me somewhere, and there was a couple of clubs come calling, and I signed for Wolves. Obviously dropped down in the division, but you know, Wolves were a team I supported as a kid, and I had a great year there as well, an unbelievable year. We got promoted, and again I thought about calling it a day, but David Jones, the manager of the Wolves at the time, convinced me to stay for another year. And it was a tough year back in the Premier League, got to say that.
Any good victories?
Plenty of good victories. We beat United, but we probably shouldn't have done. But yeah, we give it a go. And I had two marvellous years there. I got to say that nowhere near as much pressure on you playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers as it is for Manchester United. You're almost in a goldfish bowl when you play for United. The whole world's watching you. So it was I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was hard work, but I retired at 38. I was nearly 39, so I got enough on my body as I ever could have done. I said I had 22 years as a professional footballer, which is a very long time. I thoroughly really enjoyed it.
The gigs you ever say to you retired as a kid, like compared to him?
Yeah, well, I spent more or less the whole 12 years, or certainly 11 years behind him, so I know how good he was for me. But the fact he went on so long at the top level, and longevity of him, the way he developed it from a winger that could play in midfield and play off the front man.
Him and Beckham as it were quite formidable for a few years, weren't they, together?
We had I think we had the best midfield in the world, a great mixture of Giggsy who could dribble and run with the ball, was quick. Bex was a fantastic crosser of the ball and great free kicks, and the two best players in my opinion, Keeney and Scholesy in midfield. You had Butty that could play in there as well.
We were spoiled for dead balls, weren't we? Like free kicks. We
were just spoiled for midfielders because Karol Popolski I thought was a great footballer, and he couldn't break in because Bex was playing so well. I mentioned Jesper. Butty was a great midfielder as well. Ronnie Johnson could play in there. Phil Nev could play in there. So it was a fantastic era to play in, and a fantastic team, fantastic squad. I think certainly I think a lot of fans remember '99.
So nowadays, Denny, obviously you do a lot of work for the club's ambassador role, so you just get to travel. Does it never surprise you how adored United are all around the world when you go?
Yeah, you know what? I've done pre-seasons in the Far East, so I've always known, the passion of fans over there and how well supported Manchester United is. What surprised me in my role is obviously I'd been to Thailand and Malaysia pre-season as well, so I totally understood that Southeast Asia and Far East and Japan were massive United fans.
In Japan, I never really thought Japan really.
Yeah, Japan, even though Japan's got its own very good football league, they are huge Manchester United fans. In fact, we've been there pre-season quite a bit. But what really surprised me in the last, more so in the last 4 or 5 years, America is getting bigger, more into soccer as they call it. China is growing an awful lot. I've seen that in the last 4 or 5 years.
Now, isn't it really?
Yeah. But I tell you, the ones that's major surprised me. India. It's a huge cricket nation, and cricket will always be the number one sport for as long as we live, I think.
Yeah.
But all the young kids in India are into soccer, and you'd be very surprised how big United are over there. I did a thing for the Premier League about 4 or 5 years ago at a youth festival, and they brought the Premier League trophy over, and I was unbelievably surprised how many kids were wearing football shirts.
Did you go over there with Maisie on one?
Yeah, I went over there last year. And it was Marcus Rashford's debut actually, but that was amazing against Arsenal. But it's grown hugely over there, and it's such a global game now, sport, more so than ever when I played. Manchester United is so big, it really is, and it's great to be still working for the club in the role I am.
Have you spoke to Jose since he's been there?
I'm delighted I came in. A manager who's wherever he's gone, he's won trophies. So I was delighted when he came in, and we speak here now. It's just after Christmas, and we've been on a decent run. And I gotta say, I think things are looking up, and there's light at the end of the tunnel.
There's a feel-good factor.
I think there's been a feel-good factor since he came in. The results didn't go for us for quite a while. We drew quite a few where we should have won, but we're on a roll now. And I've said all along, the 4 signings he's made are all fantastic players, and they'll all have a major influence on this club. In Pogba and in Ibrahimovic, I think we've signed 2 personalities as well that we needed. We also signed in them 2 players and by 3 physical players that we needed as well.
He's been a real sort of revelation.
Yeah, he has. And unfortunately, he got injured, and then he's heading off to the AFCON. But I think things are looking up. I've got to say that we're in a much better position than we've been for a while. Playing really good football, particularly at home. And there's no guarantee in football, of course, but I think we're heading very much in the right direction.
Are you pleased and all surprised how Matt has been, part of the plans? He seems to be happy when he's used.
Well, he got obviously when him coming in from Chelsea and Jose getting rid of him at Chelsea, there was a lot of press speculation, but he's been fantastic as well. And there's real competition for place now. As I say, the 4 lads who brought in. The manager didn't let too many go in the summer, so he kept, because he knew with the Europa Cup, and he's obviously wanted to challenge in the League Cup, the EFL as it's known now, and the FA Cup coming up. So he's kept a really strong core of players. So there's real competition there now, and I think we've seen that, which is only healthy for the club. And as I said, I think looking forward, I think we're in a real healthy position at the turn of the year, and hopefully we can go on from here.
Thank you. It's really looking at that. And what has actually surprised me as a fan recently is Jones and Rojo, and I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have necessarily, as a fan, thought they would be like my choice. But to the credit, they have actually really coped admirably, haven't they?
Yeah. It was almost like they were thrown together with Chris Smalling being injured and Boyle being injured. I've always been a fan of Jones. I really do. I think he's been really unfortunate with injuries, and I think when you start picking up injuries, and I would say prior to this run, the longest run of games he's probably had is 5 or 6 together, so you never really get into your stride. He's aggressive, he's quick, he's strong. Sir Alex bought him for a healthy price, I thought, again, from Blackburn Rovers, and he's been proven to be a fantastic player at centre half this year. There's competition there now, whereas you always felt in the past you weren't quite sure with Phil picking up injuries. And Rojo, I suppose, has been the major surprise. He's aggressive. I quite like aggressive players in that position. Probably seen him more as a left back. I know when he played for Argentina, he played more as a left back, played centre half, or played like as a centre half in 3. So he's been a major plus as well. So defensively, we've been very strong. But what's pleased me most is we're beginning to find our feet going forward, and we've found a system that probably suits Pogba. Carrick's been a major player in that since he's started playing again, and Mkhitaryan's come into a huge turn of form as well. And Ibrahimovic, I think, is a star. I really do that. I think he recognised sometimes in games you see him that we're not passing it quick enough, and he wants to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. So he's been brilliant as well. I think the experience he's got. As I said, everything's looking a lot better.
So finally, Dennis, Jose's got a reputation obviously being a 3-year man. But there's not really a big, because he's already done Real Madrid, there's not really a job that's probably bigger than what he's got now, and he seems to love it at United. I'm of the opinion personally that if we get a title or European Cup in the first 3 or 4 years, he could well stay for 10 years. Do you think that's a realistic?
I would hope so, because I think he's a fantastic manager. The spirit around the club is really good under him. The football we play has been really exciting and good to watch. He's attracted really good players in the summer. I hope he can attract more next summer, because you always want to get better and better.
That's the reason we got Ibra and Pogba into it.
It helped an awful lot. The longer he stays, the better for me. As I said, there's no guarantee in football, Pete. You know what I mean? There's huge competition there at the moment. Leicester have woken the Premier League up. I thought what they did last year was fantastic, but if you pick 6 teams to finish in the top 6 this year, the 6 of them are there, and they're head and shoulders above everybody else. Just we don't know what order they're going to finish, but we've shown a vast improvement from last year, and hopefully we can go on. And whether we can catch Chelsea or not, I'm not sure, because there's a few in between us and Chelsea as well. But we're on a good run, and if we can take that into the new year and keep going, huge game against Liverpool coming up in a couple of weeks' time. It's looking good. That's all I'd say. It's looking good, and the longer he stays for me, the better.
I agree. Well, thanks as ever, Dennis. It's been a real pleasure.